So it's been a good day here in the Indie Games track at Casual Connect. Thanks for joining us. But there hasn't been much in the way of controversy. We've heard a lot of good things about mobile development, all the good things about console development, and all the great things about the free-to-play monetization. So it's time to shake the boat a little bit, and Andy is here to tell us why free users suck. Join me in welcoming Andy.
Thanks, guys. So first caveat before I start, this is predominantly focused at premium games, although there is definitely some aspects that you can take away for free-to-play and freemium games. And if you have those, we can talk later. So a little bit about me, why should you care? Grumpy Cat is not impressed. I've been in mobile for 15 years. I ran an independent mobile game studio for 3 years during the post-Gold Rush 2009 era, pre-free-to-play, when there were just a lot fewer options on how to get your game noticed and discovered. And yet we grew that to 2.5 million users with all premium titles. So yes, I do have an opinion. Giving your game away free is not a good idea. Now, I can guarantee you that every single one of you in here has free games on your phone, right? That's a good bet. So do you suck because you downloaded the game free? No. Also, you're not your normal user, right? So when you think about building a game, you're the developer. Developers think, act, behave, are into very different things than most of your target market. And so that is something to keep in mind. You're building a product just like any business. And that product has a customer set that is going to appeal to most. No game on the planet appeals to everybody. It just doesn't. And so the sooner you get that out of your head, the better. So for instance, do you know who your target customer is? Are they male? Are they female? Are they both? Are they in between? Do they like a certain type of game? Do they like a certain category? Do they spend money? Do they not spend money? Have you even looked into it? So these are kind of the, how do you step back and take a look at the game you have or the game you're building and figure out, I want this thing discovered, I want to market it, but who am I attracting? Because you could spend money all day long advertising to the wrong person, right? And you could give your game away free to the wrong person. So something to think about. You don't need this graph. You can find it. Flurry put it out recently. It's on their blog. So the real question is, why do you make games? There's only two answers. You're either doing it to make money, or it's about principles, right? Like, I want to be an indie studio because I want to be in control of my creative process. I have this great game idea, whatever that is. It's one of those reasons. Can I get a show of hands who builds games for money in here? Well, the answer is you're probably all lying, no matter what you answer. We do it because we're passionate about it, right? You don't get into indie games because that seemed like a good job opportunity, right? That's like the worst idea in the world. However, we do it because we're passionate about it, but we do want to make money, right? I don't know any indie gamer that wouldn't love to be the next Halfbrick, right? Or to be the next big game studio that takes off and grows big and everybody loves them and you make more games and you get to do it for life. So I think it is a little bit of both, but you also need to step back and take that reality check and go, okay, so I am in it for money to some extent. I do need to make money. I would like to eat something more than just chicken broth for the rest of the time. So now what? We're going to look at an actual chart here. This is one of our self-pub studios. So self-pubbed is a publishing platform for independent game companies. It allows you to be the publisher, because you already are. Stay independent, keep your IP, and yet we give you tools to help you succeed. So this is one of our company's Glitch games, and they actually were very gracious in sharing their free app. It's not free app a day, the brand, but free giveaway day charts, so that you guys could take a look at sort of the before, during, after. What does that look like? And it's probably a little bit hard to see, so I will talk you through it. Essentially, they had about 40,000 installs as a premium title. I think it's $3.99, so it's a fairly hefty premium title. But doing decently, but kind of hit that plateau, right? Now you start to panic. What do we do next? So brilliant idea. We'll free app a day for a day. I think they used maybe App Turbo or whatever. Great. Massive spike. They hit 600,000 installs one day, right? So they're like doing dances in the kitchen and celebrating and all that. Day after, they're down to 120,000 installs. In other words, almost as many people that downloaded it deleted it the next day. So what happens in a lot of these scenarios is you give it away free, they pump it out to that free channel, right? They have a big marketing base. Those people go, oh, free game today, download. Because they don't want to miss it, right? Because it was $3.99, so I don't want to miss it. What if I don't want it? What if I don't have time for it? So they just download it. And then the next day, it's kind of like hangover remorse kind of thing. It's like, why did I download this game? I don't even know what it is. I don't have time for this. I can't play it while I'm going to the bathroom, so delete. So that's the kind of the quick and dirty of what happens when you give this kind of free app away. Now, the problem with glitch games is they're a premium title. So you take a premium title, which is a one-time cost, give it away free. Can anyone tell me how you're going to monetize those users once you have them? Let's say all 600,000 stayed. Then what? Zero, right? You're still at zero. And the worst part is because it's this glut of users who you don't know who they are, you don't know how they were targeted, you don't know, what their game preference is. What do you get? You get left with 1-star reviews, a bunch of angry people on your support page or your blog or your forums because they downloaded this thing, they don't even know what it is. They didn't tell them what it was. It's just like, new game, free. So there's a lot of actual problems that come with, and in Glitch Games' case, they actually they leveled out to about 60,000. More people deleted it, and they ended up somewhere around 45 to 50,000. So not a big net gain, and still only free users, right? Still no dollars that came in. So while this activity feels really nice, there's three main reasons here, and I'll go through them again, of kind of why free users blow chunks, and sorry if you're squeamish, but I had to pull the Stand By Me reference. So Inversion. Free giveaway is the opposite of what you think it is. It feels good, it looks great on a chart, but it does nothing for your premium game. Very little. You might get some viral sharing, right? Like I got it free and I tell a friend, they downloaded it. But most of these free tools cost anywhere from $2,000 or $3,000 to upwards of $10,000 plus to give your game away. So you're actually spending money to not earn money, to get headaches. So when you look at it, you look at the alignment of motives, right? So those free tools exist because you're going to pay them to market. You exist because we already talked about to earn money at some point, right? So you need to think about kind of how do your motives align? Do they align? Is this really going to help you? Don't read the big stories. Disney can give their game away free for a day. Great, let them, right? They got to report numbers. How many people downloaded our game? You're not who you reporting numbers to, right? To your partner, to your friend, parent. I don't know. You're not out to tell a shareholder what's going on with my game, so you don't need to brag about 500,000 installs. What you need is actual revenue coming in, and that is conversion. So you give your game away free, you have to have a way to convert. So if you do not know the lifetime value of your customer, if you don't have in-app purchases, if you don't know how to monetize a funnel of people coming in and how many of those and at what percent are actually going to eventually spend money, then you're in trouble, right? Because your conversion could be very close to zero. So once again, when you go free, it feels good. It feels like I don't know what else to do, so I'll give it away free. But realize what you're walking into. It's a lot like going to play, Vegas games, right? It all kind of feels fun, it feels exciting, but you always walk away with less money than you came in with. So you got to be careful. What does matter, though, is the numbers that come into your game and stay, the numbers that grow, that become actual fans, and more importantly, fans that you can connect to, right? Because Apple, Google, they own your customer. Let's all be honest, right? Do you know who your customer is? Do you know them by name? Do you know their email address? In most cases, not, right? You get a download, with your tracking after the fact, it's a dot somewhere in North America or Europe or whatever, and they spent 3 minutes in my game, and then they left, and they came back. You don't know who they are. How do you tell them about your next game, right? So focus on things that really matter. Don't give away your game free. Start building fans, start building tribes. If you're gonna advertise, you're gonna spend money. If you're gonna spend 10 grand on a free giveaway, spend 10 grand on actually buying targeted users who want your game, who will play your game, who would spend money on your game. That's gonna be a much better investment of your time, of your money. And then the final one is aversion. You're gonna be kind of sick to your stomach when you go through that roller coaster like Glitch Games did, and you realize, all this stuff happened, all this excitement, you spent this money, and you're kind of right back where you began before you did it all. And in some cases, it can be a colossal waste of time, effort, money, when you could have been out trying to build a really solid following and build fans that will do anything. And that's the Lady Gaga reference. I mean, she's probably one of the pinnacles of building fanatical audience, right? People who would do anything, say anything. They feel like, she knows them by name. As an indie studio, that's the coolest part about being indie, is that you can do this, right? If any of you were in Will's talk this morning, the keynote, it's that idea, right? You're creative enough to code and do graphics and build this game, and you actually shipped the game, you got it onto an app store or many app stores. You're creative enough to actually find an audience and start to engage them too. And you get to do it in a way that makes sense for you. Maybe your brand is quirky and weird. Well, connect with quirky and weird people and start building a fan base. Maybe yours is cutesy, find those people. But you get to kind of be a part of that. And believe me, the rewards are very high. One of our games, we had a children's game when I was running Thumb Arcade as a game studio, and we found that our game resonated really well with children who had special needs, who were somewhere on the autism spectrum, because our game was built for 2 to 8-year-olds, and people with autism or Asperger's are essentially social 2 to 8-year-olds for life. And so we found out that parents were really happy when their kids with special needs had our game because it didn't frustrate them. Because we didn't want to frustrate a 2-year-old, we didn't frustrate them either. And so we latched on to that niche, right? And did everything we could to learn about special needs and talk with those parents and get on those blogs. Sometimes you can, forget about the game blogs. Find a blog that fits your gamer. Go reach out to them. Start those conversations, and they become really rewarding. We still have people on our Facebook page come and just be like, hey, player one, what's up? Haven't talked in a while. It's like, dude, you downloaded my game like 3 years ago. So you have that opportunity to actually create people who care about what you do, and sometimes as much or more than you do, which is really cool. So now maybe you get it. Hopefully you do. What do you do, right? Use social media to its kind of best extent. Social media is really good when it's social, right? When you have a conversation. So don't just post like, oh, I have an update to our game. There's another update to our game. Hey, you should go download our game. Like, nobody cares, right? Start the conversations. Find other groups on Facebook. Go join them. Start talking. Talk to people. If you see someone post about your game, go interact with them. Be the one. If you're the founder, the CEO, whatever you want to call yourself, your company, you be the one. Go talk to them. Find out, like, hey, what'd you think? What can we do better? Those conversations begin to snowball. They feel small at first, but that really does grow a big fan base. Then use spending on social media, right? Use that wisely, do ads in right places, but be careful that you don't abuse that, right? Because your message gets stale quickly. Self-Pub is a free-to-join set of tools for indie developers. I was an indie developer. I hated the fact that there wasn't, some other option than being solo, Googling all my questions, failing a lot, or signing with a big publisher. And so I set out to build something that would help other indies. That's an option. There's other tools that kind of cater to indies, cater with their pricing, as well as the understanding, right? So watch out also who you partner with. Make sure that they get your size company, right? Not that they just like, well, yeah, you come in too, but we really want Gree. Or like, we'll take you. Like, find the ones that really fit for you too, right? So do your homework there. I'm willing to, be a resource anytime. You can talk to me before, during, after. Also, stop reading the game media. I mean, read it, stay on top of what's going on, but make sure you categorize that as like They write about stuff that is probably nowhere near what you're doing, right? It's some other category or class or group or, don't worry that Kiwi just raised $11 million and you wish you raised $11 million. Who cares, right? So don't get off track. Stay on track with the right focus, which is your customers, your game, right? Stick with your intuition. Build a game that matters, that you're proud of, and then spend that time on that rather than going, oh, what if we should have, I wish we would have, just start drip by drip, step by step. If you read Seth Godin, great blog, follow, go to his blog. Great tips on marketing, on just building a tribe. And it takes time. And I know that's not what everyone wants to hear. Free is quick and easy, but taking the time actually works and it matters. And then lastly, on tools, make sure you seek transparency. Don't use a tool that doesn't show you exactly how they did it or why they did it and what the result is. If you spend $1,000 on an ad network and you get X, and you spend $1,000 the next day and you get Q, they darn well better show you why you got X versus Q. And if they don't, stop using that ad network. Go to one that will actually show you what's working and what's not, because that's your right? You're spending money. You do things that work and repeat those. And when they don't, fire fast, right? You'd fire a developer who's writing bad code. So fire your ad network. Fire whatever partner you think was going to be good and they're not. Move on from them. That's a super critical piece. Don't get caught up in all the data, but you got to have data and they got to be showing you what's there. So that's it. If you have questions, I'm here. We'll come around with the mic. Mike with the mic. Thank you very much. Bueller.